Indy Mogul.
Hello everyone and welcome to Erik Builds the Movies, the show where I teach you how to create special effects and other film-related crap. This episode is especially exciting because we are collaborating with the super talented team over at RocketJump. We've known these guys for a while, but this is our first official collab, and boy, are we starting things off weird. The conversation went a little something like this.
Yellow.
Hey Clinton, we got Indy Mogul back. We'd love to build something for you guys.
Yeah, cool. Could you make us a realistic newborn baby that's attached to a 15-foot umbilical cord? We want to dangle it out of a moving car.
I guess.
Yeah, also we need it in 5 days. Thanks, bye.
And the rest is history. Or rather, the rest is contained in this episode. So without further ado, I present, and I thought I would never be saying this on Indy Mogul, how to make a baby in 6 easy steps. Hey, before we get started on this build, I wanted to throw out a quick disclaimer. A lot of the build footage for this episode is pretty creepy. It's very creepy, even for a special effects show, so just be ready, you get it. Step 1, buy an internet baby. We, of course, did not have time to sculpt a baby from scratch, so we decided to find the cheapest, most realistic doll we could find and then modify that. We ended up ordering this newborn first yawn doll for 40 bucks, and when it arrived, it did not disappoint. It's squishy, and it's warm too, so creepy. Step 2, dismember the baby. Just kidding. No, not kidding. You have to remove the arms and legs. We told you it was gonna get weird. Step 3, mold the limbs. My basic plan to make this doll more lifelike was to create some wiggly silicone arms and legs, which means I'll have to make a mold, which apparently I suck at. For my first attempt, I tried to get all fancy by building up a clay wall for a 2-part mold. I was also trying to be cheap, so I poured the first half of the mold using some leftover expired silicone. I was not confident. Okay, so we just poured our first half of the mold. The silicone is old. It's much hotter than it should be. 2 hours later, I demolded it and found that the inside was all sticky, which makes the mold useless. So I cleaned off the clay side and tried again, this time with fresh silicone. 2 hours later, and this one was also sticky inside and ruined. After some internet and soul searching, I realized the problem was that the silicone must be having a bad reaction to the surface of the baby arms themselves. Because silicone is weird. So I sealed the original baby limbs with some spray paint before trying to mold them for the 3rd time. Abandoning the idea of a 2-part mold, I simply hot glued each limb to some foam core, then built a simple foam core mold wall around that. You can totally just create a simple box for your mold walls, but if you do create a more form-fitting shape like I did, you will use less silicone. And since I already wasted a bunch, that was important to me. While we wait for this mold to cure, why not hit that subscribe button? We've got an awesome Proton Pack episode coming up that will knock your socks off. Okay, it's done. After another 2-hour wait, I was able to demold our orange baby limbs and confirm that we finally had some successful molds. Step 4. Cast some wiggly limbs. I decided to create our new wiggly limbs from the same silicone material we used to make our molds. But this time I'll have to make it the same color as a baby. Using some leftover silicone pigments and a material called flocking, I started mixing up a custom batch of baby pigment that would match the skin tone of our doll. Once I had something close, it was time to pour a test limb. The basic steps for casting silicone parts into a silicone mold are as follows. Spray the crap out of the mold with mold release. Mix your pigment in with part A of the silicone. Mix that with part B. Then pour everything into your mold, wait, and pray. Quick tip! To figure out how much silicone I needed to mix, I just dunked one of the original limbs in a graduated bucket filled with water to see how much it would displace. Because science is fun. 2 hours later, and it was time to demold.
Good start. Oh, I see baby skin.
Woo, and it's wiggly. With a successful test, it was time to mix up a bigger batch of liquid baby skin and cast a complete set of limbs. But sadly, after these had cured and were demolded, there was a problem.
Okay, they have these bubbles.
Most of the limbs ended up with these large air bubbles. No! My solution, mix up one more small batch of liquid baby skin, pour it into a syringe, make a small incision, and fill up the gaps, making this easily the most disturbing part of the build. Gross. Step 5, make a toilet paper umbilical cord. This was actually the easiest and cheapest part of this project, and as a bonus, you can use this technique to create some fake intestines. First, I got some cheap paracord and rigged it to hang from the top of my workbench. Next, I mixed up some liquid latex with some of the leftover red flocking and applied a base coat to the rope. Once tacky, I carefully wrapped it with toilet paper, starting from the top and moving down, twisting as I went. I then covered this with a thick coat of liquid latex and added some more toilet paper to certain areas to create gross bulges. Once this first coat dried, I added some dabs of dark blue acrylic paint and finished up with 3 or 4 more coats of our latex mixture. Once everything dried, the general texture and look of the umbilical cord is super disgusting, and our blue paint looks like gross veins. 15 feet later, and the cord was done. Step 6, put it all together. I ended up making 2 sets of baby limbs, and after some trimming, they all fit snugly into the original doll. To attach the umbilical cord to the baby, I had to cut out the doll's belly button, which is just too disturbing to show you. I then threaded the rope through the hole and tied it to a washer. To hide the last of the rope, I just added some more TP and liquid latex. Boom! One creepy, wiggly baby with 15 feet of umbilical cord. I am proud and not proud of myself at the same time. Wow, who knew making a baby could be that much fun?
That's what she said.
By far, the best part of this project was getting to spend the day on set with the RocketJump team. We're definitely hoping to do more collaborations with them in the future. Let us know what we should be building next by leaving a comment down below. And if you want to help support Indy Mogul, you can get a new t-shirt or head over to our Patreon where we have extended build episodes. I'm Eric Beck. Keep making stuff.